Hey guys, so I'm back for another video, and I wasn't planning on doing a video on this because I'm really sick of this whole gender crap, but I've got to comment on this. I left a comment on the Red Ice YouTube channel, which seemingly disappeared immediately, so that's a little weird. But this rhetoric is becoming extremely poisonous. It has been the whole time, but now it's just getting way over the top. So recently, Lana Lockteff of Red Ice Creations came out with an interview called Why Modern Women Need to Be Lied To. And I'm sure they have some cheeky response as to why they titled their show that. And I'm sure they would call us triggered for not agreeing with it. And yeah, I'm triggered. I think it's absolute bullshit. So I wanted to just go over some of the parts of this video, and they probably would never have a debate with me on a Google Hangout or anything. I figured I'll just leave a video response to this because everyone's just swallowing this crap except for a few critical thinkers, and this is just extremely dangerous and just so hypocritical and just trash. So I want to go through this and just debunk some of the ridiculous crap that they're talking about here. So here we go.
Welcome, ladies and gents. I'm Lana. With me is Melissa, the talented writer who runs thenewfemme.com. She's a wife, mother, and a full-time technical writer who has a keen interest in politics, culture, and philosophy. We'll talk all about women. Melissa writes, "The truth is, women only care about two very basic things. When we're young, we want to be pretty, we want to be sexy, and we want to feel desired by a strong, masculine, authoritative man. The best possible man we can attract. When we're old, we want to feel needed, we want the security of family in old age, and we want the bonding and trust of the people we love unconditionally." But we'll also talk about the virulent hatred of femininity, the war on truth and beauty, and how modern women need to be lied to.
Okay, so women only care about two basic things, and that's being pretty when we're younger and being wanted when we're older, wanting family around us. What? Maybe you two only care about that, but I don't care about those two things. I care about my people having a future, and I really don't think we should care so much about being pretty all the time. Yeah, we should have pride in our appearance, and we should take good care of ourselves, and we should have good health and good confidence. But is that the only thing that women care about when they're young? All we care about is looking good? Are we retarded? Do we not have any other thoughts going on in our brain? I care about the truth. I've cared about the truth since I was a little girl. That's one more thing other than looking pretty all the time. I mean, this is just so insulting. Can you people just imagine if this was switched around and I was interviewing some bull-dyke lesbian talking about how men need to be lied to because they're just inherently retarded? I don't think that would go over too well. Not all women even want to be married, and that's okay. But it's okay for a man not to get married. Not all people are cut out to be parents, and why should we force them into that? You people think that we're going to stop this genocide by popping out a bunch of children? I'm not discouraging having children. Certainly not discouraging having children. But that's not going to stop a genocide. You expect these women to just pop out all these kids when they have to go work, a week after giving birth because we don't get any maternity leave here, or they have to, they have all these other responsibilities that you expect them to still be able to do. I mean, how many of you guys can actually support a wife and children without your wife working? It's very rare, and I'm not saying it's your fault, but let's be realistic here, okay? Us modern women that are so evil because we exist, I guess. I guess it's our fault that our country has gone to shit because we're clearly behind the banks, we're behind media. Women control everything. Women are actually behind the Bank for International Settlements. Yeah, it's not Jews. It's totally all women. So we have so much to be sorry for about modern society. It's just absolutely disgusting.
Well, welcome, Melissa. It's so great to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me and inviting me. I'm really honored to be here.
And, first of all, this woman looks like a mestiza. She looks like the kind of girls that would torment me in high school because I was white and I was living in New Mexico. She has these soulless looking eyes with her disgusting black eyeliner, makes her look like a raccoon, and a very deep voice. I don't know, is this a tranny? Because that seems to be the trend here with these trad wives. We have these freaking trannies and non-white women lecturing us white women about why we need to be lied to. I mean, this is just such a joke. This is such a joke. You expect to attract family-oriented women to a movement that tells them they're only good for making sandwiches and popping out babies? You seriously wonder why women aren't flocking to your movement? Wow. Common sense would tell you that if you blame every single thing on women and tell them that they're retarded all the time, they're probably not going to want to be around you. Just a tip.
So give us a little crash course into your journey toward the red pill, if you will.
Well, I was just a garden variety, middle class, moderate American, I guess.
This reference to red pill is just so utterly idiotic, okay? It's a movie made by two Jewish trannies about going down the rabbit hole, taking a pill from a black guy, going down the rabbit hole and ending up in Zion. I mean, really? That's the red pill? I'm not taking any pills from anybody. Been there, done that. No, thank you.
So I started to wake up, I guess, when that happened. And so I went from being sort of a moderate to becoming a libertarian to becoming just a straight full-on reactionary.
Okay, she says she's a reactionary. I doubt that she would even be able to define that. And why would anybody want to be a reactionary? What, you're reacting to something? Wow, that's such a powerful stance. How about you create something new? And aren't reactionaries implicitly racialists? I don't even know what this thing is. It doesn't look white. But apparently that doesn't matter because she's an anti-feminist, so that trumps race, apparently.
And the anti-feminism tied into that, like becoming a reactionary became post-feminism for me. That was what kind of opened up the door for me. And then after that, I just kind of figured we're not going to be able to go back to the Renaissance period with femininity. There isn't going to be women that are going to be, aristocratic or, emanate or rather embody sort of a royalty.
So yeah, this woman, maybe not, this creature is behind the new femininity, neo-femininity. So we have neo-masculinity being marketed to people by Roosh the douche and, Matt Forney and all these mano freaks, many of whom are not even white. And now we have this mestiza lady boy. It's probably a woman, but this thing is just disgusting. Telling us that she's going to embody the new femininity, which means that she's a misogynist and she's proud of that. And she's a special snowflake. She's not like any of us. She's different.
And women tend to not be attracted to the truth. They operate emotionally. They're very, they speak from the heart, and they don't really apply logic to many things. So I think the reason it's a tough pill to swallow. All of these things that we discuss in red pill theory, and a lot of the things that we discover, it's ugly. I mean, nobody wants to face that. You have to have some sort of the stomach for that.
I find too, it's tougher to wake a lot of women up to come to more of these kind of alt-right topics. They look at it as extremist because generally they just go with the mainstream flow, don't they? Don't women generally do that?
Women generally go with the mainstream flow. I think people generally go with the mainstream flow. What about all these retarded men walking around? They're a product of Jew poisoning. Why is there all this focus on women are fucking retarded? Women don't listen. Women don't care about the truth. Women don't care about doing the right thing. Like, what? This is just becoming so absolutely toxic and retarded.
So
I think too, women that have been more sheltered, they haven't actually seen the effects of diversity, they haven't actually traveled around the world. They're actually harder to get on our page because they haven't been through some of the hard times.
Women that have been more sheltered. Like, have you lived in the hood, Lana Locktiff? Doubt it. Very doubtful. Do you know what it's like to be a white woman walking through an all-black neighborhood? You want to talk to me about how we don't care about the truth? What about all those white women that are being raped right now every 15 minutes by a black man? Is that their fault? I'm sure it is, isn't it? You know, according to Lana, these women that are raped by non-whites, they just didn't say no because they wanted to embrace diversity. No. It's because they were raped by invaders, because our people are not doing their job in kicking out the Jews who started this mess. And for you two women to sit here for what was probably an hour after this of just mindless dribble, to not mention the Jew one time in your retarded diatribe, just proves to me that you are a fraud, Lana Locktiff. You are a fraud and you are a poisonous snake.
So, I mean, I hate to use that stigma that we compare ourselves to animals, but I mean, when it comes to it, we're living organisms that are here to survive and to procreate, and one of the ways to do that is to show that you are fit for procreation. Yep. Well, the women that want to demonize that are obviously not fit for procreation of themselves. I mean, you know, look at them.
So apparently now feminists are not fit for procreation. Okay. But you two are, apparently. Lana, you don't even have any children. You sit here and say that, women suck. And, they're all spinsters in their 40s. What are you? What are you? And you two want to argue for taking away the 19th Amendment? What makes you think that you'd be able to keep your First Amendment when your 19th Amendment is taken away? What makes you think that if you had the little patriarchy that you are all so in love with, that you would have your radio show and your blog, and that you'd be able to drive, and that you would be able to have a say in society? You people are arguing for your own silencing, and it's just beyond me. I think that, Lana, you know better. You know exactly what you're doing. But these other stupid women, they just either want attention or they want to make white women look bad. And I've been seeing this as a trend with these non-white honey badgers popping up that Lana loves to give a platform to, such as Rachel Dahl, who condones spousal rape, who says that it's actually not possible to rape your wife. And, she goes on and on about how she's so persecuted because she has a half-white baby with blue eyes or something. And it's just like, get out of here. You guys do not belong around us. You're infecting the minds of our youth. And you're just disgusting. I think all of you guys should be sent to Saudi Arabia, and then you can tell us how awful feminism is. I mean, Lana Locktiff, a woman who filed a lawsuit for $1 million for sexual harassment, wants to tell us how women need to be lied to. We shouldn't have these rights. And this is just absolutely disgusting.
But one thing that I noticed that hasn't been so far tainted by feminism is extremely high fashion. I mean, the European women are still killing that. So
yeah, it's true. Traveling around Europe quite a bit and living there for a while and still living there, they are more feminine. I guess they dress nicer. They take care of themselves. A lot of American women kind of just...
Okay, apparently they're saying that American women don't dress nicely, but in Europe they do. That's just so utterly retarded. Has this woman ever even been to Europe? Does she even know what the different countries are called? Because this woman does not seem very articulate or cultured at all. She's wearing chandelier earrings for an interview. You're not going to a ball, sweetheart. This is an interview. And shouldn't you be in the kitchen, like, scrubbing the floor or something? Why are you even on an interview? Women are only good for two things, right? Being attractive and cleaning and cooking. So why are you even on the internet? All of these honey badgers that love to go on and on about how we should have our rights taken away because we're inherently destructive, then why don't you start setting an example and shutting up and becoming silent and being seen and not heard? Because You seem to speak the loudest about how women need to be silenced, yet you have all of your platforms, your freedom of speech, you have the right to go sue someone if they rape you or sexually harass you, but you want to argue that that all needs to be taken away while you use the rights that women fought for you. Did you know that back in the 1850s to early 1900s, women could be institutionalized by their husbands because they just didn't want to deal with them anymore? We weren't viewed as equals. We weren't viewed as human. Women were institutionalized for not having their periods. I mean, something so silly as postpartum depression would get a woman institutionalized, and the husband could decide that. So women's rights are much different than Jewish infected feminism, and you know that, Lana, and you continue to spread lies and poison. Well, it's not going to go on for much longer. You are going to be pushed out the door by people that actually care about a future for white people and not opportunists and snake oil saleswomen.
But I mean, before that, back in our generation in the 80s, we used to be able to see, really good looking people or really rich people like Donald Trump be the beacon of anything that anybody in the United States would want to accomplish.
I don't know if I can even do much more of this analysis because it is just so utterly retarded and such a waste of time to listen to these two talk about feminism as if it's like the most pressing issue we have right now. Maybe we could talk about the invasion that's happening. Maybe we could talk about the Jews who are throwing it in our faces that they're responsible for it. Maybe we could talk about some more immediate issues such as vaccinations, the poisoning of our food and water, how our children are being programmed to hate themselves, how our daughters are being raped. Maybe we could talk about that. No, that's not good for business, is it? We just have to continue to blame this boogeyman or boogie woman that doesn't actually have any power, and that will keep the shekels flowing in, won't it? Yeah, because see, when you do a radio podcast for money, you can't really have any standards or any integrity. Well, you could if you were actually a good person, but clearly you guys are not. And you are actively working against my people, and that is a problem, and we're going to have to take care of that. So they say later on how, European women are better because they buy $3,000 Louis Vuitton bags or something. I mean, this is just utterly retarded. I don't even know what else to say, but I was really happy yesterday to see a lot of these pro-white women who are actually pro-white and not anti-female just go to town on this atrocious excuse for a woman. I mean, it's just such a joke. Why should I take advice from a nearly 40-year-old woman, Lana, who calls herself European when she's Russian? You're not European unless you've been lying to us and you're European and not Russian. I need to take advice from you. You have no children. You don't live a traditional lifestyle. You don't have your husband's last name. You work. You run your own clothing company. And a tranny-sounding mestiza woman who hates women. I should take advice from you two about why I need to be lied to. You just can't make this stuff up. So you're not going to get away with spreading your poison anymore. Us women that actually care about our people and the future for our children are going to be continuing to call out your poison and your disgusting rhetoric that you're spreading in the middle of a genocide. So, you can continue grasping at straws and scapegoating away from the enemy, but we know what your agenda is, and you won't get away with it for much longer.
I think the only camaraderie that white/European women have is, with shopping and stuff like that, or materialism.